And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gothtober reading sprints on my channel. I'm Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe, and I'm joined with a wonderful array of guests, and we're just going to have a very calming evening of reading books and casual chats. Do you want to go around and introduce yourselves? I know you've all been on here before, but yeah.
Sure. I'm Lizzie from Lizzie as Elf.
Kasha, do you want to go next?
Yes, I'm Kasha from Kasha's Book Cemetery, and mostly I read horror and thriller books.
Hi everyone, I'm Mary from Mary Among Stories. I mostly love reading classics and fantasy, but I have a special love for the Victorian and Gothic novels as well.
I'm Kelly from Velvet Library, and I mainly read fantasy and romance and sometimes some literary fiction.
Great. Nice to see people joining in. Hello, and welcome. All Gothic friends, welcome. I'm going to ask, what are you guys going to be reading today?
I don't know which one I'm going to start with, so you guys can help me out because I've got a pile of books like literally next to me. I've started a few of them, but yeah, I've got Babel on the go, which I'm really enjoying. But it's taking me a long time because I'm taking my time with it.
Yeah.
I'm also reading The Daughter of Dr. Moreau, which I'm really enjoying. I haven't got very far in this. But that's another option. I also have to start Ordinary Monsters at some point because I've got to finish it before the end of October and I haven't even started it yet, and it's like literally ginormous. And I also have the last book. The last choice is Hex Life, which is witchy short stories. So I don't know which one to pick up.
I feel like I'm going to vote for Island of Dr. Moreau because I'm actually going to be reading Mexican Gothic by the same author, Sylvia Moreno Garcia. So
Nice. Okay, I'll do that then. Why not?
How about you, Cash? What are you going to read?
I have 3 books that I need to finish. But I think I'm also going to start another one because it's like an easy middle grade. And I feel like, you know, when you finish a middle grade because it's short, you feel accomplished, even though you just read like a short book. It's kind of like, since I have not read much this month, I feel like if I read that one, then I'm going to be like, you see, you finished another book, even though it's like small, but it's the feeling that it gives you, you know? So I think I'll be changing around between the things that I'm in the middle of as well.
I use that method as well, just to feel like I've accomplished something, and then it gives me the serotonin that I need.
I always feel like I'm going to read through middle grade faster than I do, but I don't actually breeze through it that quickly. I don't know why. It still takes me about the same amount of time. I have no clue why.
Same here, honestly.
But yeah, which middle grade would you start? Which one would it be?
It's this one. It's called The Hunting by Lindsay Duga. So it's not too big. And it takes 2 of my prompts. So it's also a good thing because then I can be like 2 off, you know, extra, you know, happiness. So yeah, maybe I'll just get to this one tonight. It's short. Maybe I can even finish it tonight. We'll see.
How about you, Mary?
Well, I'm also in the middle of a few books, but I think tonight I'm going to focus on only one because it is like a book club pick and I need to finish it for a live show. And that one is Possession by A.S. Wyatt. This is kind of a dark academia-ish novel, so I feel like it's also perfect for this season and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm going to focus on this one.
Interesting, because I know you struggle sometimes with dark academia.
I struggle a lot. In theory, I love it, but it's been hard to find some hits on this genre. But this one's going well. Yeah.
That's good. How about you, Kelly?
We're just gonna pretend that I wasn't on your channel a week ago reading the same books that I'm still reading. Eye of the Beholder. which I need to read. I need to finish in like the next 2 days in theory, because I was supposed to be doing it for a read along and I'm super far behind. And then I still have the audiobook of Howl's Moving Castle on the go. So I'm probably going to listen to that in the first sprint, because I need to just upload a video and like write my description and everything. So I'll probably do that while I've got the audiobook on, and then switch to the physical read for the next sprint.
Mm-hmm. Nice. See what everybody else is reading. We have These Fleeting Shadows. I haven't heard of it, but I like that title. Belladonna, which is very popular.
Yes.
Is Light Lark the one that had some like controversy?
Yeah.
I think so.
Interesting.
Let us know if it's any good, because I'm not gonna pick it up just because of the controversy. But like, I'm interested to see if it is actually any good or not.
Yeah.
Vampires are always a good idea. Always. Oh, this might be is the Deadly Education series, or is it a different book?
It might be.
Yeah, it is. It's book 3.
Is that the last one?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think so. I think it's a trilogy. I'm pretty sure the Deadly Education is.
I love Paradise Lost, but I do think it's a lot to read in the evening. It's very intense. So nothing wrong with delving into a favorite author to kind of relax into a writing style you know.
Oh yes.
I feel like people recognize it.
Yeah, it's from Shannon Maguire. It's from the Wayward Children series.
Oh.
I think it's my favorite one of that series as well.
Is it the second one? Because it was also my favorite one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it okay to start with the second one, or does it make more sense to start with the first one?
So basically, you can imagine like this: the first book introduced the school and the kids, and then every book is about a different kid, kind of. So like the first one, it's good as an introduction to see what they do and where the kids come from and why they're there and stuff. And then I think each book you can interchange them if you want, but I would start with the first one.
Okay. I think I'm going to try and audiobook them because they seem quite short.
Yes.
So.
That's how I read them. The audiobooks are fantastic, in my opinion. I really enjoyed the audiobooks. I used to read them when I was doing my commute to work, because I think they're like 4 hours long, and like I listen in double speed, so it's a couple of hours. So I really enjoyed the audiobooks.
How's that going, Elena?
Yes, you can definitely double up. I actually generated prompts for the summer camp, even though I haven't finished my Gothic Mansion prompts because I want more choice.
There you go. I chose summer camp. That was my choice.
It was fun. Hello. Yeah.
I want to read this one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Book 3 finally.
Finally.
I saw a teaser for George R. R. Martin saying he's almost done with the last Game of Thrones book, and I was like, I don't know.
He's been saying that for like 10 years.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's been a long time.
I can't imagine.
Is it a chunky one?
I think so. Yeah. All over are, honestly, I think.
I really want to try and fit in The Turn of the Screw for Gothtober. But I'm aware that if I do read a classic, even though The Turn of the Screw is not long, it will take me more time to get through.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like we should do some reading. But it's nice to see everybody's got lots of choices and books, wholesome stuff.
Yeah.
Complete Gothic education. That is what we
Oh.
strive to achieve.
Yes, absolutely. I support that.
Shall we go for 25 minutes to start?
Sure.
Yeah,
A
sounds
bit
good.
later than my usual start. So then we'll be reading until 5 minutes past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Happy reading, everyone.
Yeah.
the end of our first reading sprint. Got some more people joining us. Hello, Katrina. Hi, Jen. Hi, Emma. And Emma. Hello. Welcome. How did reading go for everyone?
Good. I read about 35, 36 pages, something like that.
Pretty good.
I'm still enjoying it.
I'm trying to finish the book I started yesterday, which I'm nearly done. It's The Other Ones by Fran Hart, which is Heartstopper, but for spooky season. That's the best way I can sell it to you.
Amazing.
So I'm really loving it, and it's quite fast paced. And we're dealing a lot with grief at the moment, so I'm like, Olivia's gonna love it.
I actually have that one, so now I'm really gonna love it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really good. So I just want to finish it to be like, okay, one more down, you know, because I only have like a little bit left, but it's really good.
Nice. How about you, Mary?
It's going well. I'm not sure how many pages I read, but it's one of those books that makes you feel completely immersed in the story. So it's been great. I'm loving it.
I listened to a bit more of my audiobook and I got my video uploaded. So in the next sprint, I'll probably do like 10-15 minutes of promo, which I can still listen to my audiobook, and then I can finally switch to this.
Nice. I read some of Mexican Gothic. I feel like my attention span is a bit low today, but I got some reading done. There's lots to do with mushrooms, which people have mentioned. I'm just seeing the symbolism and I'm waiting for it to get really creepy, which looking forward to it. We have some more video editors. Getting some editing in. Are people vlogging this month? Are any of you vlogging?
Yes.
I'm not.
You are, Mary?
I was going to, but I ended up not doing it because lots of things have happened this month, and I'm just like, I'd rather just do like videos on specific books than have a really shit vlog go up.
That's fair. My first vlog was like very detailed. It's like 50 minutes long, and then this one, life has just been a bit hectic, so it's going to be lots of small little clips instead.
It's okay. It happens.
Yeah. I hope vlogging is going well for you, Mary.
I mean, I love it. It's my favorite type of video to film anyway, so I'm having a good time. Yeah.
That's good. Love fairy tale writing. Nice. Almost at the end of the book, just like Kasha.
Yeah.
Lots of reading. A few pages are good. A few pages are better than no pages. And you're reading a classic.
Exactly. Oh, interesting.
That's fair. I feel like I don't love mushrooms, but I don't not like them either.
Fair enough. Are you liking the book though? How are you
I'm
feeling
liking
so
the
far?
book. I feel like it's because it's truly a Gothic book, so it's truly doing the whole like slow and steady. And I was just thinking the other day, it feels like a mashup of Rebecca, Haunting of Hill House, and there was one other one, and it felt like a really good combination of them all. And I was like, this is really interesting. I think it just depends on, as with lots of Gothic books, how what the end is like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't end the way I thought it was going to end, that book.
Same.
I loved it. Like, I absolutely love Mexican Gothic. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, but it ended like in a completely different note than I was expecting. And like that's almost the reason it got the 5 stars, was because I was like, oh, if this is going, I think it's going to go. And then it didn't. And I was like, okay.
Interesting. Did you like it, Mary?
I liked it, but I was a bit disappointed. I think I gave it 3 stars. Like I loved the atmosphere, especially at the beginning, but then when the actual plot started happening, I started getting a little lost. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm not quite halfway. I'm like 25 pages from halfway. So
Good.
have you read it, Kasha or Kelly?
I have. I liked it. To me, there were parts reminding me of Dracula as well. Maybe you're not there yet.
Oh, this is so interesting. I want to know more
But you know,
about
the
this
way
book.
that she gets into the mansion, didn't it remind you a little bit of Dracula?
Yeah, that's true.
Like the way
That's
that she
true.
gets there, I was like, I'm seeing it. You know, that I can see it.
And the mysterious like man of the house.
Yeah, it's kind of like it gave me Dracula vibes. I think that's why I enjoyed it a lot as well.
I feel like I'm a bit unsure. Like I don't not like the main character, but I don't love her either. But also I feel like it doesn't matter, which is really strange because it feels character driven, but also it doesn't. I'm so confused.
I get what you mean.
So I just went on a bit of a tangent. But nice to see other people vlogging. I'm looking forward to watching the vlogs. I feel like I've watched nearly all of the TBRs, but not all of the vlogs. We have some cat appreciation.
He was just using me as a bridge, honestly.
I hope the drawing challenge is going well. I always see lots of nice art come from Inktober. And Daisy Darker, interesting. I need to read it at some point.
It's interesting, Daisy Darker, because I got the arc that was you were running. It's interesting as someone who doesn't read a lot of mystery and hasn't read And Then There Were None. I feel like if you've read And Then There Were None, you possibly wouldn't like Daisy Darker because it's very similar, apparently, like according to like the discussions. But I enjoyed it for what it was. I thought it was a fun mystery, and it was set on the Cornish coast, and I'm from Cornwall, so I always appreciate that. So yeah, no, it's an interesting one, Daisy Darker. I'd like to see what other people are saying about it because I was a little bit unsure, but then I was like, but then I don't really read a lot of mystery, so maybe it's my fault. I don't know.
And I feel it's still valid if you enjoyed it, that you enjoyed it. And that's,
of course. Yeah.
still counts. I really loved And Then There Were None, though. So I'm curious to see if I'll still like Daisy Darker.
I mean, I think you'll enjoy it, but I think you'll see a lot of what happens like coming because it's very driven like by And Then There Were None. Like you can see the Agatha Christie like inspiration in it. Like it's really clear. Like, and I don't think the author like is hiding from that either, which I appreciated. Like it was very much like this is what it is. So I think you will enjoy it. I just don't think the twist will be as surprising to you.
That's fair. That's fair. We're selling people onto the idea of Mexican Gothic. I'd be curious to see what you think, Milena, because I feel like
same.
Through classics, you read a lot of the like Gothic vibe things.
Yeah.
I feel like some people don't like Dracula because it is a very slow story.
Definitely. I was gonna say I don't think that's an unpopular opinion, actually.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you like it. Spooky season coastal cruise, folks. I like that.
I think that definitely fits the bill too. I think you can definitely add it to your list.
Have you read Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield? I haven't read it, but I've heard that it's got the spooky. She goes on a trip to an ocean as a marine biologist, and she returns back to her wife, and she's not the same. because something has happened, which sounds very spooky as well. It's waiting on my TBR, like, you should read me for Gothtober. Yeah. Any spooky books you would definitely recommend? Very out of the blue question there.
I would recommend The Luminous Dead, and I can't remember who it's by, but it's basically like a sci-fi, but it's not in space. It's set in a caving system, so it's all underground, and it's just so like creepy, and it's very much like it's two people. It's the lady who is doing the actual caving, and then the person who's like directing her, and like there are just parts of it that are terrifying, and it's interesting because it's on Earth, but it's like lots of stuff like mushroom spores and all these sorts of stuff that are down in the earth and unexplored caves, and lots of drama about like her suit being taken over and a load of different stuff. It is absolutely amazing, and I don't hear enough of people talking about that book, so that's the one I'd recommend.
Sounds
I have one that's perfect for the Gothtober theme this year, which is The Last Girl by Goldie Moldavsky. I think in the US it's the Mary Shelley Club, but it's about this girl that moves to a new school and she is really into horror movies, and she gets recruited into this club called the Mary Shelley Club, and they basically pull pranks inspired by like horror tropes and urban legends, but then things start the pranks start turning a little bit deadly.
Fun.
Yeah, I have that one on my TBR pile for this month, but we'll see if I get to it.
I enjoyed it so much.
Any recommend? I feel like Kashi, you must have so
Too
much
many.
choice.
I actually a video of mine is coming up in like 45 minutes that I did of Halloween recommendations for. I tend to do those, but I just have too many. Depends what you like, you know. If you want slasher, if you want a hunting, if you want. There are so many subgenres of horror. It's really hard when they're like, recommend me a horror book, and I'm like, depends what you like, you know. It's like it's just so hard to say just one because there are so many options, and depending also how much can you take. Because I read things from middle grade to the goriest, more messed up things you can ever imagine. So like I have a white span here, so I don't know. But there is a classic that a lot of people don't read. Well, I consider it a classic, but it's The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty, and I really loved it. It took me so long to read it because literally nobody talks about it. Like not like as we talk about Frankenstein or we talk about Dracula and stuff like that. And I feel like it's an underrated book because it's a really good book. So definitely recommend.
I feel like I'm going to enjoy it because I liked the film, but it was kind of watching the film was almost like reading some classics to me where I watched it and I was like, I don't rate that. But a month later, I was still thinking about it and still analyzing it. And I was like, oh, it's actually a really good horror film. So I feel like if I read it, I'm going to have the same like slow build of, appreciating it.
Yeah.
How about you, Mary? Any Gothic classics, canon?
Yeah, I just love the classics, you know. It's very basic, I know, but I love The Turn of the Screw. I love Dracula, Frankenstein, Rebecca, for sure. Just all of those. I haven't read a lot of spooky books, so I would love some recommendations, honestly, because I love them. But I've seen a lot more movies than I've read books. So yeah, I'm always looking for them.
I feel like if I was going to recommend one, I'd recommend one that I recently finished, which is Mean and the Undead, which actually I got because I was watching Cash's channel. But it's young adult book, and this girl like loves horror films, so she goes to work at this museum with her sister where they put on like horror tours, but then the girls start to get killed in the city, and they're killed in the way that it's done in horror films. And it's like, who did it? And the title, hints at things.
Oh, interesting.
But
I
yeah, it
have
was a
book
lot of
2 of
fun.
that. I've got book 2 of that on my TBR, and I'm doing like a whole like vampire vlog, and like any vampire lore, I'm like, give it to me. Like in whatever medium it is. It's like one of my favorite like mythical creatures to read about, and I love Mida and the Undead too, like so much. And Amy is just like the loveliest human ever. But like I'm so excited to get to the second one. I've been like trying to like not read it immediately because I know that I will just drop everything and read it. So I've made sure I've given myself like a load of books I can read around it so I can like actually take it all in instead of just consuming it and then going, I'm gonna have to read it again.
Yeah. It's difficult when you know you're going to love something wholeheartedly. You have to wait till the right time.
Yeah.
I know that Pixie has mentioned how good this book is, and it's on my shelf, and I need to read it because I also love vampires. So yeah, need to read it. Clackety. I love a good spooky middle grade, and I need to read more of them as well.
This is the bad thing about sprints, is that I'm now adding a bunch of books onto my TBR.
I mean, that's also the good thing about sprints.
Yeah.
It is, but I don't have any more bookshelf space, and I don't. Like, I have too much to read anyway. And like, the more books I buy, I'm like, well, now I've just got piles of books everywhere.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
You can always just join me, on a like year-long buying ban if you just want to have some fun.
Oh my god.
That doesn't sound like fun, though.
No.
That sounds awful. And I know that it won't work because I will just eventually crack and then spend like 600 quid on books. Because I have zero self-control. I see a book and I'm like, give it to me.
It's always nicer when that like mass buy of books is spread across a couple months rather than like all at once.
That's true.
But yes, shall we do another reading sprint and try and go for 45 minutes and then check in? Okay, 25 plus 45. I'm always like, how long? I'm going to do this maths once we've started and then I'll put up the banner. Happy reading, everyone.
Happy reading.
That's the end of our second sprint. Hope it went well for everybody. I love that people are still joining. It's never too late to join sprints. I think we've got about one more to go. Alex Neptune and the Dragon Thief. I don't know this one, but it sounds like middle grade. But I don't know. Rick Riordan, classic. Deep and Dark and Dangerous. I like that title.
Yeah, me too. Sounds promising.
How did this reading sprint go for everyone? The longer one.
Good.
Yeah, I did really well. I read 68 pages, so I'm now halfway through.
Oh wow.
I never cease to be amazed at your reading speed.
Neither do I. It's really interesting. I'm trying to figure out what slows me down and what I can read really quickly. And I don't seem to be finding any rhyme or reason. And I'm like, is it just my mood? Because sometimes I will pick up a book. Like Babel is literally taking me forever. Like forever. And like any classic I pick up will take me months to read because I am slow. But like anything else, I just sort of start reading and I don't even realize how much I'm reading.
I do feel like Babel's also in a bit more of that like classic. It's not an academic book, but it reads academic, especially in the beginning. I've only read 100 pages, so maybe I'm just talking rubbish, but feels that way in the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
How about you, Kash? I like the jumper change.
Yeah, it's getting cold here. Yeah, my cat needs attention now, but I finished the other ones. So at least I finished the book. And in the next sprint, I will start the hunting then. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's not particularly horror, even though it has, the fall spooky elements, Halloween party, pumpkins and stuff like that. But it's a lot more about, family and friendships and a little bit of griefs and stuff. So yeah, but I do recommend it. It was good.
Yeah. And I feel like they don't all need to be like scary, spooky reads for autumn. Like sometimes people just want a cozy autumn vibe.
Yeah.
How about you, Mary?
I have reached page 110, and I feel like I'm reading it slowly because it's one of those books that I cannot stop annotating. I don't know if you can see that. Lots of tabs going on because there's a lot of beautiful quotes, and I want to write all of them down.
I love that though.
Yeah.
How about you, Kelly?
I didn't listen to very much because about halfway through, my husband came home from dinner. So I was chatting to him a bit while I finished off promoting a video, which I'm now done with, but literally finished like just before the sprint ended. So I've still not done any physical reading.
That is okay. This is why we love audiobooks, because you can still get reading done while doing other things.
True.
As for me, I'm now halfway through Mexican Gothic.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's still, I feel like I'm not going to have much to say on it until we get halfway, like to the plot twist. But there's a character I really like, and I hope nothing bad happens to him.
Who knows?
You say that?
Who knows?
Hi, Amy. I was talking about your book earlier and how much I like it. But yes, we are going to do one more sprint, one last reading sprint. So there's still time, or productivity sprint, depending on what you're doing. Hello. Hi, Priscilla. I hope you're enjoying the Shirley Jackson short stories. I think I've only read The Lottery. That's the only one of hers I've read. Which is her most, I feel like her most famous one. Murder. Always good. Very Gothtober. I'm glad you're really enjoying Helen Oyeyemi. I still don't know if I should give her a second chance or not. If they're all in the same vein as White is for Witching, but I'm glad that you know you have an author that you just love and can keep reading. Lots of over halfways. Progress. I'm glad you got a whole chapter in English.
Wow.
Do you usually use the glossary? Because I'm the kind of reader, if there's a word I don't know what it means, or it's in a different language, or it's this like, you know, in fantasy, sometimes they use words and there's a glossary. I never check the glossary. I just keep going.
You know,
Try and figure out as I go.
yeah. The thing
It
with the
depends.
Bronte. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I said most books have sometimes German words or Spanish words, and I speak both languages, so for me it's fine. And some French words are similar, or I did French a little bit, so a lot of things I understand. So I don't always need glossaries, but I think for me, because I'm one of those people that I need to read every single thing, so I think I would check the glossary. Yeah.
I somewhat speak French, and when I read Enchanté, they would have French phrases, but then they would immediately repeat it in English, and I got so annoyed with it because as I was reading the French, my brain was translating it. So every time there was French in the book, I was just like, "Why are you repeating yourself? This is so stupid."
That's fair. How about you? What were you going to say, Mary?
Oh, I was gonna say that the thing with the Bronte novels and the few classics, I feel like, is that they have entire conversations in another language. So it's kind of hard to not look at the glossary because you will miss like an entire point of the story. So that's usually a problem.
That is true. That is true. I feel like mostly I infer it from all the stuff that happens around it, but that said, in some of the Russian classics, like I think War and Peace, they, if depending on the translation you get, they would have a footnote, and then they would have it in the footnote, so you don't have to flip to the glossary, which definitely makes sense for War and Peace because it's a massive book, so you can't flip.
Sure.
But yeah, if it's like pages, it makes sense for it to be in the glossary.
I also use Google Translate quite a lot. I'm pretty bad. Like even if there is a glossary, but it's just in a different language, and it's like what, like maybe one or two words, I'll just Google Translate it like really quick. But like I'm the same as you, Olivia. Like it depends. If it's like a word, I can usually figure out what they're trying to say, but Google Translate is my best friend sometimes.
Yeah, that's just what you said, Mary. Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, Paradise Lost. Oh no, I had not like a bad time reading it because I loved the book, but I didn't have a good version.
Oh, really?
Like I was studying it, so my book didn't arrive in time, so I still had to read it. So I quickly got the free Kindle one, which was the original text. So most translations have put in punctuation marks, but I didn't have any punctuation marks, and I didn't have any footnotes.
Oh no.
Difficult.
Okay.
I feel like having second or third languages can be really helpful, especially French or Spanish. They just turn up a lot. Yeah. Russian classics love to have wide range of people. We have more cat appreciation. I think this was for Cash's cat.
Yeah, he's like, pay me attention, please.
Mexican Gothic is going well. It's very atmospheric so far and very creepy. Also, like quietly funny. I think she does a good job of like being a bit sassy, just enough. Just sassy enough. Yes, I think we're going to start our last reading sprint soon. And you can never be behind on reading, because if you're doing any reading, that's good.
Exactly.
You're getting there.
I agree.
I hope you're cooking something nice. Yeah. Yes, definitely. I feel like I should reread Paradise Lost at some point, with it all being lovely and in translation. I think I read the last book or like last chapter with it, and I was like, this is so much easier to read, so much more fun, even though I still enjoyed the book.
I'm so nervous to pick up Paradise Lost, mostly because it's huge and it's an epic poem, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I have the brain power for that stuff. Like, it looks like it's going to be amazing, and from what Pixie said in previous sprints about it, I'm like, oh, you're making me want to read it. Just like everything you're saying sounds great, but every time I think about it, my entire being like sinks, because I'm like, what if I'm too stupid?
No, I mean, I feel like also with classics, sometimes it can help to have a Spark Notes or find whichever Spark Notes equivalent you like and just have it there with you. But I always like to say, like, go into it, even though I haven't read Good Omens, but like, just imagine it being a classic Good Omens. That's the kind of way.
Good
I like
Omens
to
is such a
say.
good book, so you're selling it to me even more.
I haven't even read Good Omens, but I'm like, this is how I can get people to read Paradise Lost.
I'll put it on my list properly. I'll stop being a wimp and I'll put it on my list.
I like to try and find the like equivalent. Like, I've been selling Crime and Punishment as like Death Note, but Russian. And classic.
That's interesting. I like that comparison. Yes.
So this is how you sell people on classics. Okay, Korean is a very difficult language to learn, but it's good that you're going for it and getting there. Pixie's also trying to encourage you.
Yep.
And lots of Good Omens fans.
So good.
Okay, I think we'll start one last reading sprint, but also I do want to just give this as a segue opportunity for anybody who's feeling tired to like go and have your night. So yeah, are we all staying on, or?
I'm gonna head out. But before I go, can I please tell you a story about my cat?
Yes, please do.
So when I went down, so I had to go and let my husband in because he didn't have keys. So I took my cat downstairs with me. And then as I was coming back up the stairs, I tripped and I dropped my cat. And he doesn't go outside by himself. So normally when he gets like, I only ever take him outside on a leash. So normally if he gets off, he like runs down the stairs and has a little panic. And he just ran all the way back up the stairs by himself and stood at our front door and cried until we got up the stairs and opened the door for him. And it was so cute. And now
Oh my god. That's adorable.
I love
It
that
was
you
amazing.
handed the cat.
So your friend fell out. I missed that, Lizzie.
No, I just love that after that story, you were just handed the cat.
Yes.
It happens. But yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
gosh.
I'm gonna go and sleep.
Have a good night. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest. Bye.
Okay. I think we're going to do one more sprint. Are we going for the full 45 minutes, or are we tapering it off? 45 minutes?
It's fine by me.
Finishing strong.
Yeah.
Good morning. I think now it's Australia. So other
That would
side.
make sense.
Yeah, that would make sense. I was like New Zealand or Australia, but I think it's Australia. Okay, shall we read until 10 past and then close up?
Yep, sounds good.
It's the end of our last sprint. And I read some really strange things. I'm over 2/3 of the way through, and it's just done like the plot drop of like what's kind of going on. I'm like halfway through the explanation. I'm just like, what am I already doing? So how did it go for everyone else?
Good. I read 85 pages this time. It's kind of hit the part with a lot of, and I think you're getting close to it with Mexican Gothic, where like everything is happening really quickly, where it's been like this really long build up. The like big twist has just been revealed, and like the plot is now like running full speed to the end. So I'm definitely going to finish this tonight. I've got less than 100 pages, so like after the sprint's finished and before I go to sleep, I'll just finish it. But I do find with Silver and Moreno Garcia, there's a lot of build up and then a very quick ending.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy. I like a good slow build up, to be honest. Yeah, I really like Silver Moreno Garcia's writing style, and this is only the second one I've read of hers. The only other one I've read is Mexican Gothic. So
it's a good second one. Favorite author in the brewing.
Yeah.
Author. How about you, Kasha?
So I read 100 pages of The Hunting.
Nice.
Because, middle grade, it's a little bit quicker for me, so it's easier to read. It's just about these girl that it's in an orphanage, and she gets adopted by a rich family and gets taken to this like mansion, and she starts exploring and stuff, and she starts to find things are a little bit weird, basically. Without spoiling too much. But with middle grade, sometimes you start reading and you kind of see things coming for like miles away, because obviously I'm not the target audience, but I feel like I can still enjoy it even though I know what's gonna happen. But it's still a quick read, so I'm enjoying it, and it will tick off 2 prompts for the Gothtober-a-thon.
I love a spooky middle grade. I love a spooky middle grade so much. Like it's really, I've read a couple like this month, and I really want to read more, because I think like spooky middle grades are scarier to me, even though I can see things that are going to happen. It's so much more psychological and like using your imagination rather than like adult horror, which I find sometimes leans on like the gore and the jump scares, whereas middle grade is kind of like, oh, you can use your imagination. Like, what could that be?
Yeah. And I also tend to like their messages. I'm a big fan of the very typical, like, the humans are the monsters. Oh my goodness, who would have thought? It's so basic, it's so overdone, and I still eat it up every single time.
Who's the author, Kasha?
It's by Lindsay Duga. I think she has different ones. I don't know if it's a series or not, but I know that she has other ones with similar covers, because Andreas in the comments was saying it. And I've seen them as well, and I think I want to collect them because they are just quick and easy to read. So I feel like it's a nice series to have when you need something, or when you're in a reading slump, you just need something a bit lighter to read, something that doesn't require so much of your brain. We all have those days where we only have like a brain cell left at the end of the day. And it's like, I can only do a middle grade tonight, So it's good for those days.
Just adding it to my list, that's all, because it sounds great.
The growing list.
Yeah.
Cats are very good distractions.
Yes.
That is okay.
Perfect.
I mean, yeah. You read earlier.
Yes.
Productivity. Interesting to know that there's a story that inspired so many good books and films.
Yes.
That's a lot of pages.
Yes.
Lizzie's speed. Glad you're continuing to enjoy. Oh, everybody got so much reading done. This is really good. I hope you get some sleep.
Oops.
Good night. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why everyone uses it, because it works very true. And I am that kind of horror, like, especially in films. I've talked to Cash about this. I am all about the like psychological horrors where it's people doing things rather than like paranormal horror. Doesn't tend to work for me that much. So I feel like it's also partly personal preference. But yeah, I think it's time for sleep. I can do some sleep. Kasha can probably do lots of sleep, being an hour.
Yes, I have a working day tomorrow, and then I'm watching Halloween Ends
Nice.
tomorrow. I'm excited. Excited and sad.
I am, all being well and going better than it went today. Tomorrow I'm going to see the play The Woman in Black, and I'm curious to see what it will look like on stage.
The first movie was great. The second one, not so great.
I've not seen
it. I haven't seen the film. I've seen bits of the film, which is really weird. I've not seen it all the way through. I think I stopped watching it because I was on my own. I'm a huge wimp. Like, I'm a massive wimp, like, with horror films. Books I seem to be able to be fine with. But, like, sometimes horror is a little bit too much when it's, like, when I'm watching it. I don't know why. So I'm a massive wimp. So I've seen bits of The Woman in Black, but I scared myself so much. It's the bit that I switched off the last time I tried to watch it was the bit with the light lampshade, and like it was twisting, and like I have a thing about like faces really freaking me out. Like, and like anything like with like faces like changing and like morphing. Whew, gross. So like, the whole time I'm like, oh, there's gonna be a jump scare. There's gonna be. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm on my own. This is how I will die. So I like switched off, and I was like, I need to watch it because it's a good spooky film.
Yeah. It can be difficult when you're on your own. It can be difficult. I used to think that like horror films didn't scare me too much, and then I was living in a house by myself, like a whole house for me. I was just like house sitting, and in the attic, because the house was kind of in development, there was a big hole, so you could literally crawl. You could crawl under the house and crawl around, and there was like in the basement, and my sister was just like, I know you love horror films, but you're not allowed to watch any while you're in that house by yourself with a hole in the basement. And I was like, I'm actually going to take your advice. A couple months without horror films, and I survived.
Oh, no, there's loads that I need to watch. Like, I've got a long list now of like ones that I want to watch and like rewatch. Like, I really need to rewatch Jennifer's Body because that is a fantastic film. Anyway,
I do not understand why people love that film.
Oops. I enjoyed it. I like it.
it's like it's a female demon who hates men and eats them. Like, I can get behind that.
I could get behind the concept, but the execution. I don't know. Like, separately, I do see like this is iconic. This is an iconic scene. This is an iconic concept. But also, just when I was watching it, I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
No, the only other one I need to watch that I haven't watched all of, I've seen bits of, is Halloween, because that's like an iconic like horror movie, and
But the original is not that bad.
No, I think I've only seen like a bit. Again, it's faces, and he has literally a William Shatner mask on. Like, I don't do that. I don't mess with that. But like, I need to. And yeah, it is Megan Fox, and like, yep.
Anyway, I was fully like signing off this live show, and then we started talking about horror films. Then I was like,
yeah, let's not start because I can go on for ages. I've seen basically nearly every horror movie that is out there. So
yeah.
I'm so sorry. I derailed you. My bad.
No, it's okay. I also derailed myself. I love horror films. But yes, as they were saying before, sleep well. It's the season for sleeping. Let's do some of that. And thank you to everyone who joined us.
yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody.